All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a close look at the research behind Manus AI 1.5. There's so much hype in the AI world right now, it's kind of hard to tell what's real. So our job today is to cut through all that noise and see if this thing is actually a big deal, like a real step forward in what AI can do. Let's jump in.
So, to really get what Manus is all about, I want you to think about something. Just ask yourself this simple question. What if your AI assistant had hands? I mean, think about it. Not just a chatbot you can talk to, but something that could actually do stuff for you. Grab the digital tools it needs, build things, deploy software, all on its own. This one idea right here is going to be our guide for this whole explainer.
And that really brings us to the core difference, right? Most of the AI we use today, well, it talks. A lot. It's great at generating text or pictures or brainstorming ideas, but Manus, it's built for something else entirely. It's designed to do, to take action. We're talking about a huge shift here, from just being a reactive chatbot to being a proactive engine that actually gets things done.
Okay, Section 1, an AI with hands. We're looking at the jump from just language to actual execution. And the name Manus isn't just random. It's actually Latin for hand. Kind of perfect, right? It really nails their whole mission, getting past the talking and into the doing.
So, this brings us to the big idea behind all of this, agentic AI. What does that even mean? Well, it's not about just spitting out an answer to a question. An agentic AI is more like a project manager. You give it a goal, and it doesn't just talk about it, it makes a plan. It figures out what tools it needs, like a web browser or a code editor, and then it actually uses those tools step by step to get the job done. It's proactive.
Okay, so it sounds cool, but can it actually perform? Well, according to the data, absolutely. Manus hits state-of-the-art on something called the GAIA benchmark. And look, this isn't your average AI test. It's not about how well it can chat. GAIA is this tough, rigorous obstacle course where the AI has to actually do things like browse multiple websites, pull info from different places, use digital tools, all to solve a complex problem. It's basically the gold standard for proving an AI can execute in the real world. All right, onto the new 1.5 engine. And let me tell you, this isn't just some small tweak. We're talking about a major overhaul under the hood that makes this thing way faster, smarter, and just better. So get this, before the big 1.5 update, if you gave the agent a really complex task, something with a bunch of steps, it would take about 15 minutes to finish. And yeah, 15 minutes is a long time to just be sitting there waiting for your computer to finish.
But now, with the new 1.5 engine, that same task is done in about 4 minutes. Just boom, done. That's nearly 4 times faster. And that's not just a nice-to-have improvement. That's the kind of massive leap that takes a tool from being a cool science project to something you can actually use in your day-to-day work.
And look, speed is great, but it's useless if the work is sloppy, right? Well, that's the other part of this. Not only is it up to 4 times faster, but the quality of what it produces has also jumped by 15%. So it's not just getting things done faster, it's getting them done better, more accurately, and more reliably. That's a huge win-win.
Okay, so this table from the research really spells it out. You can see the numbers right there. Processing time goes way down, output quality goes up. But check out that bottom row, core development scope. This is the big one. The old version was good for stuff like data analysis. The new 1.5 version, it can build an entire web app. We're talking the whole shebang, backend, database, the UI, everything. That is a gigantic leap in what it can actually do.
So, having all this power is awesome, but it doesn't mean much if it's stuck in a box, right? Like having a Ferrari engine but no car to put it in. The next piece of this puzzle is absolutely crucial. How does Manus actually connect to the tools we all use every day?
And the answer is this thing called the multi-client protocol, or MCP. The best way to think about it is like a universal adapter, like the one you use for your plugs when you travel. It's an open standard, which means anyone can use it. And it lets the Manus agent plug deeply into other programs, especially code editors. This is huge because it means you don't need a clunky custom integration for every single tool.
So what does this deep integration actually look like when you're using it? Imagine you're in your code editor, like VS Code. Manus becomes this autonomous pair programmer sitting next to you. And I don't mean it just suggests a line of code here and there. No. It scans your entire code base. It figures out which files need to be changed, and it proposes those edits. Then it opens up the terminal, runs the commands to test its own work, watches for errors, and if it finds one, it goes back and fixes it. It's this constant loop of coding, testing, and fixing, all on its own.
Okay,
Now we get to what I think is the killer feature, the real show-me-the-money moment. This is where you see just how powerful this agentic stuff can be. Deploying a whole application straight from GitHub with basically no configuration. Zero.
Think about how this usually works. The old way, it's a nightmare. You're manually configuring everything, you're fighting with dependencies, you're wrestling with Docker files. It's this whole complex DevOps mess. The Manus way, you just talk to it. You give it one sentence, in plain English, telling it what you want. The official term for this is zero configuration deployment, and it's pretty much the whole point. The agent just handles it. It takes all that complicated DevOps stuff, setting up the environment, dealing with the build process, all of it, and just makes it disappear. So the whole process is really just 3 simple steps. First, you just describe what you want to build. Second, and this is wild, the AI goes out and finds the best open source project on GitHub to do the job. It discovers the right tool for you. And then third, it just deploys it. It handles everything from start to finish, all by itself.
Okay, let's pull back for a second. We've seen the insane speed increase, the new capabilities, that crazy GitHub deployment feature, but what does this mean for the big picture? Where does this fit in the whole AI universe?
So if you put Manus up against the big players, like Google's Gemini or Anthropic's Claude, you start to see they're playing a slightly different game. A lot of the competition right now is all about who has the biggest context window, who can read the most text at once. Manus seems to be saying, that's great, but we're focused on doing. It's differentiating itself on execution, on that top-tier GAIA score, and its ability to deeply integrate with the tools developers actually use.
Now, I gotta stop here because this next point is absolutely critical, and it comes straight from the researchers themselves. This is not about replacing people. They make it really clear that you can't just blindly trust what the AI spits out. You have to treat its work as a first draft, a starting point. You, the human, need to be in the loop, questioning it, editing it, and using it as a launchpad for your own ideas.
And that really is the whole point, isn't it? The very nature of our work starts to change. The goal of a tool like this is to take over all the boring, repetitive, tedious stuff, configuring servers, chasing down dependencies, all that grunt work. And that frees us, the humans, up to focus on the things that really matter, the high-level strategy, deciding what we should be building, and making sure the final product is actually good. So we circle right back to where we started, with this idea of hands. And maybe, just maybe, the real future of AI isn't about replacing our hands with artificial ones. Maybe it's about building these incredibly powerful tools that just empower the hands we already have. Tools that let us build faster, think bigger, and really focus our energy on the problems that matter most. What do you think about that?